Bexleyheath Broadway, 1987, with its ultra-modern shopping centre, surrounded by many smaller stores offering shopping facilities second to none. But when did this all begin? Well, we have to go back about 55 years, to the early or middle 30s to be precise. There were a number of established shops already there, but just enough to supply local requirements. A little cluster here and there, separated by rows of cottages and private houses. But with the building of modern housing estates around the town and a vast potential of new customers, it was time for change. Gradually the cottages and houses were demolished and a parade of shops would take their place. Some had shops built in the front gardens. And so the transformation began to what we see now. With the aid of film, copied from film taken at that time by Mr. Arthur Geeson, to whom I extend many thanks, we can see what changes took place then and what it is like this present day. So let's take a trip back to those early 30s and see what it was like. This was one of the early developments that took place between Banks Lane and Trinity Place. Here we see a classic example where some of the original houses still hide behind modern shop fronts. Cinema closed on the 28th of July 1956 and was converted to a supermarket. Sadly, March 1987 saw the closing of the last cinema in the borough, and as we watch the demolition of this fine building, our memories go back and hear the signature tune of that popular organist Robinson Cleaver, who played here from 1934 to 1938. choice of having 3 cinemas was very short-lived. Within a few months of the opening of the Regal, we were back to 2 again, as fire gutted the palace. The name was changed to the Astor, and the last film was shown on November the 4th, 1967, before it became a bingo club. 1989, the last bingo number is called. The bulldozers move in, and sadly another one of the Broadway's landmarks vanishes beneath a pile of rubble. What development will now take its place, we ask? Nostalgia with the aid of photographs in the lower end of the Broadway. Trams ran until November the 23rd, 1935. bus run on the 4th of March 1959, when we were integrated to the network of London Red buses. '88 saw yet another change in our bus services, this time to Bexley Bus. 1990 sees the last of the Bexley Bus, so yet another change to our transport system. Let us wander a little way from the Broadway for a few moments to see what activities were going on in Danson Park about this period. The pool was opened by Councillor Mr. A.J. Williams, JP, together with members of the council on the 25th of July 1936. Bexleyheath then was only an urban district council. Borough status did not come in until 1937. After the opening ceremony, a display of diving, swimming and water sports was given. Now only a pathway leads to where the pool entrance stood. It was demolished in 1985 and the landscape returned to almost its original condition. Crook Log Baths was built and opened by the Mayor, Mr. K.J. Smith, on the 14th of January 1967. It gave us the choice of two pools, but gradually led to the decline of the one in Danson Park, ably assisted as this new one gave all the year-round facilities. In 1962, the Broadway was developing fast and that all those gaps had mostly been filled. Shops were being extended and modernised. Well-known high street names were beginning to appear. Talk was in the air of bigger things to come. Little did we know that the Broadway was going to lose a lot of its character of its bygone days.
Broadway, and it's my Broadway, with the rhythm of music and the music of rhythm. Come what may, it's the same Broadway, for the thought of the city is the heart of the city. Plant my feet on that grand old street, and let me live in that gay tent. Oh, bright light shine on that old skyline. Come on to the main stand where everyone mingles with roaring of traffic and singing of jingles. Go Broadway and mine.
One and gain one with the opening of the new bowling alley here at Oaklands Road, with the War Memorial and Gardens giving ground to this new leisure complex.
Very much miss over the years the decline in the trade from the Arsenal, which is in the background. We really do need some more trade to be generated into Woolwich. We would very much like there to be some retail outlets across the other side of the gate, so that we could link up across from the market to give it more depth and more interest for people worthwhile coming to Woolwich for.
The Arsenal, though associated with a great history over several hundred years, is not outdated, though people tend to think of it in terms of cannonball and brass cannon.